Now we're going to read a passage about one of my favorite authors, Rhoal Dhal. Um, it says one British author, Rhoal Dhal, wrote many books. He's British and he's an author. Several have become classics. Kids still read James and the Giant Peach, of course, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the BFG, and Matilda. I love them all. While Dahl may be best known as an author of famous children's books, he also had an interesting life unrelated to his writing. Adventure. I'm going to circle that. Oh, adventure wasn't something Dahl just wrote about in his books. He loved adventure and looked for it in his own life. Before he started writing, he traveled to other countries, flew fighter planes, and worked as a spy. And those activities are not for everybody. You have to be very brave and adventurous in order to do all those things. 3. Dahl was born in 1916 in Wales, a country that is part of the United Kingdom. Dahl's parents named him after one of their heroes, Roald Amundsen. Amundsen enjoyed adventure too. He led a trip to the South Pole a few years before Rhoal Dhal was born. And then you have a picture, and it says two of Rhoal Dhahl's most popular children's books, The Giant Peach and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Why did they place those there? So you can see examples of their books. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. When Dahl was 4 years old, his father died. Oh, his mother thought of moving but decided to stay in Wales. She valued education and wanted Dahl to be a good student. She thought it would be best for him to attend a boarding school in England. And you can see there is a little number that we cannot skip. It says number 1, and when you see a little number there, you will see it at the bottom of the page. A boarding school is a school where students live and they take classes. So they live there. It's a school where they live. While attending boarding school, Dahl missed his mother and hated the endless rules. Endless. Look it up in the dictionary, but it also means no with no end. It's like homeless, no home. Okay? Moneyless, no money. Although he did not like his new school, he did find a few things to enjoy. He realized he was great at sports, and he also developed love of photography. After graduation, Dahl decided to get a job instead of going to college. Ooh, he got a job. He worked at the Shell Oil Company and learned new skills. Oh, then the company sent him to East Africa. Dahl soon learned that Africa had many new things to see. Finally, at the age of 18, he was having an adventure. Wow! And look, he's in uniform. That is our role. After World War II began, Dahl joined the Royal Air Force. World War II, the Air Force, and that's the photo we have. He wanted to be a fighter pilot for Great Britain. There was a problem though. Dahl was very tall, 6.5 feet tall. The widescreen on the fireplane was lower than Dahl's head. It was difficult for Dahl to breathe with the wind blowing in his face because he was so tall he couldn't fly planes. He wore goggles to protect his eyes, but he still had to bend down to take deep breaths every few seconds. This did not stop him from doing what he wanted. Dahl tied a thin cotton scarf around his nose and mouth so that he could breathe. Flying came naturally to Dahl, so after several months of training with the Royal Air Force, he was ready to go to battle, so he could do it. In 1970, oh, let me see if I have it in the other page. Yeah, this one looks better. In 1940, Dahl received instructions to fly to a spot in the North African desert. He looked and looked for the landing strip but could not find it. Oh, this is a problem. Okay? With the plane running out of fuel, Dot made a risky decision to land the plane in the desert sand. Although he was terribly hurt, he managed to crawl away. Dot's recovery took months. Among other things, the crash left him temporarily blind. However, his sight did return. And his body was healed. After Dahl was once again fit for duty, he flew in many air battles. So he continued, even though he had this major accident, he continued. 8. Later, the British government found a new way for Dahl to help his country. Dahl was asked to work as a spy. In his new role, Dahl will gather information to help British war effort. 9. While working as a spy, Dahl began to write. Most of his writings were short stories for adults. He wrote book stories that often startled readers. Ooh. I'm gonna draw a ghost. Okay? The mystery stories were quite popular. He began to write children's stories when he became a father. This is his inspiration. He began to write children's stories when he became a father. Of course, he wanted to tell his kids stories. The first two novels, James and the Giant Peach and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, began as bedtime stories that he shared with his daughters. The books quickly became bestsellers. Dog was able to combine childhood, mischief, suspense, and humor in a way that appealed to children. Although Ty died in 1990, his books live on and are enjoyed by many children and adults today. Yes, of course. And this is him. How nice. Question 7. How was Dahl's career at the oil company similar to his military career? The oil company and military. Okay, I have no idea. I need to go back. I'm going to move this down. I remember it was at the beginning of the story, right? Okay, here we go. It's paragraph 5. He realized he was great at sports and he also developed a love of photography. After graduation, Dahl decided to get a job instead of going to college. He worked at the Shell Oil Company and learned new skills. So he learned new skills. I'm gonna write it down. New skills. And let's see for the military. Okay. Then the company sent him to East Africa. Dahl soon learned that Africa had many things to see. Finally, at the age of 18, he was having an adventure. After World War II began, he joined the Royal Air Force. He wanted to be a fighter pilot for Great Britain. There was a problem that was very tall. Okay, it was difficult for him to breathe. He wore goggles, did not stop him. Several months of training. Okay, it says right here. So after several months of training, he was ready to go to battle. So new skills and the military career asked him to go through training. He needed to go through training. Okay, now I can read my question. How are these similar? I'm going to circle the word similar. Okay. Both careers gave Dahl experience as a spy? No. In the oil company? No. Both careers put Dahl in dangerous situations? That could be. I'm gonna draw a dot in there. But I'm not so sure. The oil company doesn't say that about the oil company. C. Both careers required Dahl to have excellent writing skills? Not at all. Both careers presented Dahl with opportunities to learn new skills. Do we recognize these letters, these words? And when you train, you are developing new skills. That's why you need training. So my correct answer is this one right here. In paragraph 5, the word endless mean. So I'm going to go back, find my paragraph 5. Where's my paragraph 5? It should be right here. Here we go. While attending boarding school, Dad missed his mother and hated the endless rules. So I'm going to write down hated the endless rules from the school, remember? So what does endless mean? Nearing the end, hated the end of the end. No, it doesn't make sense, right? Okay, no. Able to end. Able to end, that they could end. Endless rules. Without end. He hated the without end rules. After the end, no. So my correct answer is without end. Letter H. Endless means without. Without means no. Without means no. No ending. He hated the never ending rules. Okay? Question 9. The author included information about Dhal becoming a father too. Okay, when he became a father. It doesn't tell you what page it is or paragraph, but I can see that. Let me see. Here we go. In paragraph 9. Look for question 9. While working as a spy, Dhal began to write. Most of his writings were short stories for adults. Then I highlighted he began to write children's stories when he became a father. So why? Why is he saying that? To explain what types of story Dhal most enjoy writing? No. He began to write children's stories when he became a father. How Dhal's children help him improve his stories? Improve means to make better. Make better. And no, he wrote for his daughters. When Dhal decided to become a writer, no, because he was already a writer when he was a spy. D. Why Dhal was inspired to write children's literature? Yes. Who inspired him to write for children? Because he was already writing stories for adults. So who inspired him? His daughters. Okay? Let's move on. The photographs of two of Joel's books after paragraph 3 are included mostly about, okay, paragraph 3 because there were several photographs. So I'm going to go find the photos in paragraph 3. Let me move this down. Paragraph 3, here it is. Let me move this down. It's right here. This is the this is a photo from paragraph 3. Two of Rhoal Dhal's most popular children's book, and I wrote down examples. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I can keep an eye on it. The photographs. Okay, what are they for? What are those for? To suggest that they were the first stories. Were they the first stories? It says most popular, so no. Encourage the reader to buy. No. Show which books Dhal wrote while he was a spy. No, because he wrote for adults. And show examples of Dhal's books that the reader may recognize. This is the perfect answer. Shows examples. Okay? Question 11. The author organizes a selection by. And I can think of text structures, and the one that I can recognize is a train because it explains to us when he was young and when he attended boarding school, then that he didn't go to college, he got a job in an oil company, and then he was in the military, and then he was a spy during World War II, and then he became a father, and he wrote stories. So it's a sequence of events. This is something you should have memorized already. Sequence of events. Okay, here we go. Listing, making a list of Dhal's accomplishments as a writer. No. Comparing his life as a fighter pilot and as a writer. Can you see compare and contrast there? No. Describing Dhal's life from his childhood through his adulthood. Okay. Because it's from when he was a child until he was an adult. That sounds good. Explaining how Dhal's job at the Shell Oil Company led to new discoveries. No, I found my answer. It's describing his life. And our last question is, which sentence from the selection base shows that Dahl was a daring person? And if you don't know what daring is, you should look for the word in the dictionary. And daring means courageous. 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 He likes adventures, and he's brave. Okay, so that's daring. The question is, which one of these four can tell you that Dahl was all of these things? While Dahl may be best known as an author of famous children's books, he also had an interesting life unrelated to his writing. Okay, interesting life is not exactly brave, courageous, or adventurous. This sentence can't be. Before he started writing, he traveled to other countries. Flew fighter planes and worked as a spy. And if we go back to our story, where we were reading about that, his where did I? Oh, it's in paragraph 6. Let me see if I have paragraph 6 here. Here we go. Here we go. After World War II began, Dhal joined the Royal Air. Let me see, where did I underline it? Maybe it was in paragraph 4? No, that's boarding school. And this is great at sports, photography, oil company, having an adventure. He was ready to go to battle. Okay. Let me see where else. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It was in paragraph 2. It says, oh, I found it. Adventure wasn't something Dahl just wrote about in his book. He loved adventure and looked for it in his own life. Before he started writing, he traveled to other countries, flew fighter planes, and worked as a spy, which is letter G. Can you see? So, can this show me that he's adventurous? Yes. Dahl soon learned that Africa had many things to see. Is that adventurous? The mystery stories were quite popular. This one, letter J, was like, no, that's super wrong. So which one shows me that he's adventurous, like in paragraph 2? Okay, always go back and find it in the text. It's not a memory test. It's right there for you to go back and look into. Letter J. This, traveling to other countries, fighting planes, being a spy, all of that shows that you are brave and courageous and you are daring.